depth. Now, what I'm going to say about depth really quick is if any of the safety parameters are changed for sacrifice of depth, then we're going to say don't do that because we wouldn't load a bad movement pattern just to get depth. So what I'm going to have Coach John do now, he's going to be the demo guy. It's pretty awesome having a guy that's big and strong and just moves phenomenally. So we're going to have Coach John, he's going to demonstrate, we're going to take a couple different angles on what a good squat looks like, and then we're going to talk about some of the common problems that we'll see in the squat and kind of how we're going to look at fixing those things. So, Coach, let's give everyone just kind of straight on where give them just a good squat. Perfect. And up to one more, Coach. So you can see torso is nice and upright, weight is balanced, midfoot, heel, creasing the hip below the knee. He comes back out. Just take a little from the side so you can see that angle too. The same thing. And out. So you can see that you drop straight down, come straight up. One of the things that we look for really here is where its pivot position is. So if you can see him from the side, if you do a straight line down, his ear will stay right on that line the whole time. You won't have any forward or rear declination or inclination to get into that squat. So this is a perfect squat. So now, a couple of things that we're going to see. One big one that we're going to see first is not getting to that good depth or that place where his hip crease can get below the knee. So let's show him one of those codes. So we're just going to keep everything the same, but this is where he stops. And up. Good. So, and that wasn't really all that bad. He was almost right at parallel. We'd say we can live at parallel. So give him kind of a quarter squat. So we're going to say right here. All right? So now, a couple different things. That can be a result of that can be a mobility issue, or it can be a stability issue. So I have the range of motion, but I don't have the neuromuscular or neurological capability to stabilize myself while I get to depth. So for you guys at home or that we're working with online here, we're going to look at a couple of things. So one way we can check that is this. I'm going to act like a post or a doorway for him. I'm going to hold his hands. Now, if giving him stability, he goes to the same depth, that quarter squat right there. And that's as far as he can get. Now we know we have a mobility issue. All right, so with the stability given to him, now we know that we have a mobility issue. So we're going to be looking, do I have an ankle issue? Do I have a low back issue? Do I have a hip issue? Coach John is putting together a phenomenal coaching library for you guys in videos. His resets and any mobility things that he puts in there, check those out because that's going to help a ton. If I give him stability and he goes rock bottom and everything's perfect, now we know we have a stability issue. So his mobility is there for him to do it, but his stability is not there. So a couple things that we can do. If you have a squat where your stability is going to be compromised, then we're going to say use something, whether it's a door jamb or a handle or a friend, to give you some stability while you develop that movement pattern. Okay? What we would say is don't load a poor movement pattern. So if your squat without any assistance is a quarter squat, we're going to ask you not to do goblet squats and dumbbell squats and back squats and front squats to quarter depth. Now sometimes we might program that, but for this program we're not doing that. We're looking for the best range that we can own. Okay? So we would say if you got a quarter squat, I hold on to something, now I got a great full squat, train it, train it, train it until you own it, and then we'll go back and load it. You got anything else to say on that?
Absolutely. The functional movement screen is great book. They say don't stack fitness on top of dysfunction. So that's a commonality in our industry. We want that motion, that quality movement before we add I'm going to program that. That's just leading to injury or faulty, like a pyramid that's just top heavy.
you got that one. Now, if you own that pattern, you saw Coach John's perfect squats, those perfect squat, Coach John? You own it. If that is your squat, then we're going to say it's okay to start adding some load. How much load? I'm going to load it. That was looking cool. It's raining here. So, yeah, we got a little thunderstorm going on here. So, we're going to say how much load? I'm only going to load it to the degree that I continue to own the movement. So, if at 30 pounds, that stays my squat. At 40 pounds, that's my squat. At 50 pounds, now I'm living someplace between a half and a quarter. Then we're going to say back off a little bit and keep working at the weight you own, and then gradually increase from there. Couple little things that we'll see faults, just like with the lunge. One of the faults that we'll see, he goes down into his squat. As he comes out, he collapses to get up, right? And that is clearly a case of your head not knowing what your glutes and your hands do for a living. So what's happening is he's using his adductors to create hip extension instead of driving out of his posterior chain to get him out there. So what we're going to say to you is if you are posting videos and things like that, here will be our cue to fix that. So at the bottom of his squat, if I start to see his knees collapse, what I'm going to do is tell him to push the ground apart and come out. So he's going to spread the ground, and that's how he's going to come out. Second big fault that we'll see, and this one tends to be a lot more mobility related, is that we will start to see, instead of a nice straight torso, Coach John, that's got a phenomenal squat, what we will start to see is what we call an immature squat. So they'll start to pitch forward, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. So he starts to pitch forward. Now we still got a straight back. Everything else is looking good, but this position is giving him some range of motion. So what we're gonna cue you to do is kind of think sternum to the ceiling, brace, breathe out, and come up. Boom, and find that position. So if this is your squat, so what we're going to do is say, hey, sternum to the sky, there you go, and right away, it put him in a great position, and out. All of that being said, if you can keep everything together, but your depth is maybe not where Coach Johns was in his demos, that's okay. We don't want to sacrifice any movement quality just to get an outcome. So we're always training the movement, not necessarily the outcome. So if a half squat is what he has, in great position, we're going to take that. We're not going to load this, but we're going to take that because we know if he goes any lower than that,